Oh my God, did you guys see this JD Vance on ABC where the host tells him, there's just a handful of apartment complexes that are overrun by Venezuelan gangs in Colorado? Take a look at this. Look at this exchange.
Incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border? Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs.
Holy crap, he tore her apart on this. And what do you say to come back from that? When she said something so incredibly stupid as, oh, it's only just, a handful of apartment complexes that have been overrun by a violent Venezuelan gang. And, Aurora's a town of 400,000. How many apartment complexes do you think there are in that town? 50? 100? But a handful. Okay, let's take it like 100% of face value. Let's say 5. 5 were overrun. I believe it was more than that, but 5. We'll say 5. Let's say there were 100 apartment complexes. That's a big deal. It's 4%. When 4% of your rental housing is being overrun by Venezuelan gangs, that's huge. But like JD Vance said in that clip, the fact that there's any is completely unacceptable. What is wrong with these people? They are so dialed in on fact-checking Donald Trump. It's, he's lying. It wasn't, the town's not being overrun. It was just a handful of apartment complexes that were being overrun by gangs. Okay, and what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't leave people to fend for themselves when Denver, right adjacent to Aurora, is a sanctuary city where they're allowing illegal immigrants to come in as much as they want. That's what's happening. That's why Aurora is the way that it is. That's why Trump had such a huge crowd. They're saying 15, 20,000. The venue is 6,000 and there was 15, 20,000 that showed up. That's why in Colorado, in friggin' Colorado, you don't ever see people voting Republican there anymore. It's Democrat plus 10 or 11. But the fact that so many showed up in that Denver metro, that's crazy, man. And the reason for that is because they know that these problems are real. There's a lot of communities around this country, Chicago, Aurora, Denver, San Francisco. People don't feel safe. New York, I saw videos of that. Citizens in New York freaking out about it. People don't feel safe. And the worst part to me, because I don't live in one of those states, is the economic side of it. Because our taxes are going to pay, thousands and thousands of dollars to each of these illegal immigrants for housing, food, shelter, everything. Clothing, food, shelter. Housing and shelter are the same thing. Not only that, they get health care. California's trying to give them loans to buy houses. In fact, I believe they passed that law. It's not okay, man. People that live here are getting pissed off. I saw Trump flags everywhere when I was in Colorado last week. Everywhere. Now, granted, I went through Aurora and Denver and then up north of there to go hike in the mountains. But there are Trump flags everywhere up there. And I understand why. Anyway, it's a good thing we had JD Vance there talking to this lady, because some people would have just got pissed off and rage quit. at something so stupid, but he schooled her. He took her to task. So love that. JD Vance was a good pick by Trump, I gotta say. That's about all.